Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam series. So we are continuing with the discussion on the Brahmana patnis, the wives of the Brāhmaṇas Blessed. So we will start with Mangalacharan first. So let me share. So I don't know if you noticed, Veda base has a little bit of a new look. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay. We will recite the invocation verses. Our pranam to Sri Shukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj, and Sri Suta Goswami and the Shaunakadi Rishis. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskritya
Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram
Nare
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim
Devim
Saraswatim Vyasam
Saraswati Vyasam.
To Jayamudirayet
Tato
Tato
Jayamudire
Jayamudirayet.
Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu
Ashtaprayeshu
Bhadreshu.
Vatasevaya
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhavati Tamashloke
Bhagavati Uttam Shloke
Bhagavatitam Asloke.
Bhavati Naishtiki
Bhaktir
Bhaktir
Bhavati
Bhavati Nastiki.
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya
Krishnaya
Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya.
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki
Devaki
Nandanaya Cha
Nandanaya Cha.
Nandagopa Kumaraya
Nanda Gopa
Nanda Gopa
Kumaraya
Kumaraya.
Vrindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Thank you for joining. So we are continuing with the chapter 23 in Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam. And this chapter is called the Brāhmaṇas Wives Blessed, or the Brahmana patnis receive the mercy of the Lord. So, in this chapter, we are going to start from verse 29 today. So, we covered till 28. So, what happened so far is that the Brahmana patnis have arrived with lot of food to the place where Lord Krishna and Lord Balram and all the gopis, all the gopas are herding the cows and they are resting. And the Brahmana patnis arrived there, and we saw the beautiful darshan of the Lord. But so the Lord welcomes them and asks them to have a seat and asks them their, well-being. He says suswagatam and asks for their kushalata, that are you okay, and how are you doing, how can I serve you, all those nice things. But then and then he praises the wives of the Brahmanas as well, that you have left everything and come to me. And he finally gives them a shock in verse number 28, where he says that you should return to your homes, to the Brahmanas, to your husbands, whom you actually just left. So you left them and you came here, and you should. So first he's praising them for the exact same thing, but now he is asking them to go back. So we will continue from there onwards, and this time we will see the response of the Brahmana patnis. So there's a very big shock that has occurred, and so let me share this particular screen. Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good. So as we can see from here, text number 28, that Lord Krishna now says that you should return to the sacrificial arena where the yajna is going on by their husbands, because your husbands, the learned Brahmanas, are householders and need your assistance to finish their respective sacrifices. So we discussed a lot of other aspects, that how the Brahman patnis are like the pure devotees who need to go help the materialistic people of this world to get out of the material world and so on. So those are the relishments of the various meanings. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Arthanam Aswadam. So that was the Artha Aswadan of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, by looking at it from various angles, various meanings, and to relish the beauty of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and also the beauty of the acharyas' explanations to the various episodes in the Bhagavatam. But the basic point is that the mainstream episode pastime is that the Lord is asking them to go back. So now we are in verse number 29. So since there is such a big change in mood that is occurring, the meter has also changed. So this meter is, anybody recognizes from the, you must develop the practice of recognizing the meter by looking at the verse. Anybody? And most of the verses are in this 6 or 7, maximum 10 different meters. There are many verses in different other meters, but mostly they are in some common 8 to 10 meters. So I'm just giving a side discussion by size of each line. So it does not definitely look 8. It's not, it's longer than Anushtup. Seems longer than Indra Vrajra as well, so not 11. To me, it seems a little shorter than Shardul Vikriditam, which is 19. It's somewhere 17, 15, 14 kind of. So 17 has about 3, 15, I know 1, 14 also 1. So you're kind of, at a high level, just by looking, you are down to about 3, 4, 5 choices. And you then have, try to fit the tune, because the syllables are all arranged in that way. So 15 could be Malini, 14 could be Vasanta Tilakam, 17 is Mandakranta or Shikharini, and one more, I think, Prithvi. So like this, you can fit. So we can try by fitting. So I have prepared for today. So it is Vasanta Tilakam. And if you just try to fit the Brahma Samhita meter, you will see that it kind of, fits. For some of the words, because we are mispronouncing it, it may feel like it is not fitting, but if you see most of it is fitting, try to fit it. If it is completely off, then it is something else. And finally, obviously, you can count the syllables. You can see the long and short Laghu Guru and match it. But that is the more like the algorithmic way of doing it. But just by looking and singing. So let's try. Okay. So I will sing here with my wife with help. Maivam vibhorhati bhavan gatidum trayashamsam satyam kurushva nigamam tava padamulam prapta vayam tulasidam padavasrishtam keshair nivodhumatilangya samasta bandhu. So you can see that Vasant Tilakam fits in this. Anyway, so that is how we can try to do this. Okay, so what is happening? So Shri Patnyaha Uchu, which means the wives begin to speak. So Nrisamsam means this means with a level of politeness, or with a level of compassion. Okay. Ni means without. So basically it means harsh. So this is the key word. So, O Almighty Lord. So first, Vibho. So we must focus here that they are acknowledging that he is the Supreme Lord. Okay, Vibho. So please do not speak like this. Gaditum, please do not speak. Ma evam. Ma means no. Like Ma Shuchu. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshami. Ma Shuchaha. Ma means do not. Shuchaha means worry. So Ma means do not. And Evam means like this. So please do not speak in such a harsh way. Okay. That is the first thing, that they are heartbroken on hearing that Lord Krishna is asking them to go back. And then very nice thing they say, Satyam Kurushva Nigamam Tava. So Tava Pada Moolam will come in the next line. So Satyam Kurushva Nigamam. So what is Nigamas? Nigamas are the Vedas. So there are two types of scriptures, Agamas and Nigamas. So anyway, we won't go into the detail of that. But Nigamas are all the Vedas. That is why Bhagavatam is part of the Vedic literature. That is why they said Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam 1.1.3. So this is the description of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in the very beginning. It's the Mangalacharan of Bhagavatam, which says Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. That means of all the Nigamas, which means of all the Vedas, the Kalpataru, which are compared to the Kalpataru, the desire fulfilling tree, this is the Galitam Phalam, the Galahua Phal. Galahua means very ripe, very juicy, not like decayed, which is ready to be thrown. Not that is not the meaning of Galitam. It's very ripe and sweet. So Bhagavatam is the very sweet essence of the Vedas. But anyway, the Vedas are Nigama. So the wives are saying, Satyam Kurushva, please make the Vedas true. So very nice commentary is given by our acharyas that whatever comes out of the mouth of Krishna is Vedas. Okay. Originally the Vedas came out of the mouth of Krishna also. But anything, even subsequently, that comes out of the mouth of Krishna is also Veda. And just now Krishna said he is very happy to see them. And he also asks, what can I do for you? So he says there, 20, see here, what can I do for you? So he is saying that, I will do whatever you want. And they want to stay. And now he is saying, you go back. So they are saying that bring the Vedas to truth. Otherwise, people will start, their trust in the Vedas will erode. You cannot just tell a lie. You cannot say that I will do what you say and then not do. So that is very important. And another thing to understand here is that they are saying, they are acknowledging. So it's very clear from this that they are acknowledging that Krishna is Bhagawan. This is important. We will see how it develops. So Krishna, they are acknowledging that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, because he is the speaker of the Vedas, and Vibho, they are addressing him as the Supreme Lord, Vibho. Okay. Another point that is coming up here is that Tava Pada Moolam, at the base. Pada means feet and Moola means at the root. Moola means root, or at the bottommost part of the feet. Prapta Vayam Tulasi Dama Padavarishtam. Padavasrishtam. So, Dama, what is Dama? Damodar Lila. Dama means rope. Dama Udara, right? The rope that was tied around Krishna's Udara or belly, that is. So, Dam means rope, or here in Tulasi Dama, a garland of Tulasi, a rope made out of Tulsi leaves. So, basically Tulasi Dama. So, he was wearing Tulsi garland, which has somehow fallen to his feet. Okay, they are saying, Keshair Nivodhum, that we will take that Tulsi garland which you were wearing and now it has fallen to the feet, we will put it in our kesh, we will put it in our hair. as a ornament. So this here, it is being seen that they are adopting the mood of dasya, a mood of servitude. So they are saying, we want to live or we want to stay with you as your humble servants. We will always take whatever falls to your feet, we will take it as prasad and put it on our head. And finally, they say that atilangya samasta bandhun, that we have all our samasta bandhu, all our relatives, friends, everyone we have. Atilangya means we have given up, we have cut our ties. So we have cut our ties to everyone else. We have only connected all our ties to you. We have, so to say, put all the eggs in one basket, which is you. We have taken complete shelter of you. We are willing to live as your maid servants. Please don't send us back. And because you said, and now you have to fulfill what you said, you cannot go back on your words. Otherwise, people will start, they will lose faith in your words in so many places. So our acharyas point out many such words, which are where the Lord says many things, and they point out specific words of the acharyas where people put their faith, and they are saying these are the things that will get shattered or the faith will get shaken. So Srila Sridhar Swami calls out two aspects. One from Bhagavad Gita, Name Bhaktah Pranashyati, that my Bhakta is never vanquished or disheartened or destroyed, or his hopes are never dashed. But here our hopes will be dashed. So that statement will be falsified. Now again, don't ask, oh, Krishna has not yet spoken Bhagavad Gita. He is right now in Vraja. Once he will go to Dwarka, then he will speak Bhagavad Gita. Then he will say Name Bhaktah Pranashyati. That is not the case. In Bhagavad Gita itself, the Lord has said that I have spoken this Bhagavad Gita before. So the knowledge is there, and our acharyas are making the point. I mean, it's not like Krishna is just right now a liar. By the time he speaks Bhagavad Gita, then he will become a acharya. So somehow he has a change of heart. Today I am a liar, now I become a good person. I have reformed myself. That is not the case. Krishna is unchangeable, unchanged. He's avyayam. So even though he will speak Bhagavad Gita later, the principles are the same. So this statement will be falsified. And so many places he also says, in the Vedas, he says, Nasa punaravartate. In the Bhagavad Gita also he says, what is that?
पुनरावर्तिन Arjuna.
What is the full thing? Yad gatva na nivartante. So after reaching me, one does not come back. So we have reached you. Right now we have reached you, isn't it? And now you are telling us go back. So people will not trust that after reaching Krishna, they don't go back. You are telling us we have come to you, and now once we go back, then people will say, Arey, what happened? You went to Krishna and then you came back. Krishna says, after reaching me, no one goes back. So that statement will also be falsified. And then, I don't know why Sridhar Swami missed it, but maybe he left it for Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami points out another I feel somehow this is more apt. Sarva dharman parityajya mahamekam sharanam vraja. He says, see, we have also given up all shelters, sarva dharman parityajya, of our father, husbands, sons, brothers, family. We have given up everything, our home, our reputation to, not the women, cultured women are not supposed to just leave the home if their husbands are telling them to not leave. You're not just supposed to completely, reject your husbands. So they have given up their culture and their tradition. So we have given up all these things. Sarva dharman parityajya we have done. And mam ekam sharanam vraja, we have come under your shelter. And you said, aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami ma shuchaha, don't worry. Now you are sending us back to those same old husbands who rejected you to the material world. So that statement will be falsified. So all these arguments are being given. I mean, that's not in the Bhagavatam verse, but our acharyas expand it and show us what is going on in that scene. If somebody has to do a drama on this, then they should add all these points, not just one or two lines. The whole conversation should include these verses. You said this, you said this. And then Krishna should be shown like he is getting ashamed on being called out, that he has no answer to these Brahman patnis. So, another thing that is brought out is the mood of the Brahman patnis. You are so harsh. What is the difference between you and our husbands? When we were coming here, they were harsh with us. Don't go. They were trying to stop us. They maybe said a lot of bad things to make us completely heartbroken. And now we have come here and you are also being harsh. So what is the difference between the two of you? You're also, they were harsh, you are harsh. Everybody is harsh with us. So it's just showing the amount of heartbrokenness of the Brahman patnis. So basically the point is that you have to accept us. There is no other option. Okay. And then Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings up another verse, 4.11. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. So we have completely taken your shelter. We have surrendered to you. Now you have to do our bhajan. Tams tathaiva bhajami aham. Instead of doing our bhajan, you are telling us to go back. How does that make sense? So all these points are being brought out. And Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings us out many other points. They are saying, okay, we can understand that, their mood is of dasya. Okay. So they are saying you are a Vaishya. Just bringing out these points. Okay. We are Brahman patnis, so we are Brahman. So a Vaishya may not like to have Brahman as a servant. Vaishya is supposed to serve the Brahmanas, not take service from them. So maybe you are feeling embarrassed to do it. So don't worry. You go back to Vrindavan. We will stay here in the forest. Okay, as your servants. Don't worry. And from time to time, you can just send us your tulsi garlands that have touched your feet. You just send it through your other servants. Just send it to us. We will be happy with that. We will consider that itself as our means to live. So like that, their mood is so sweet. They are trying all the ways, all the means to convince Lord Krishna to not send them back. Yeah. Yeah. So these are all the points in this verse. So see how much in one verse, how much our acharyas have brought out. So basically the point is that the Brahman Patnis are very heartbroken and they are trying to convince Lord Krishna to not ask them to go. Okay, we will have somebody read the translation. So, Shalu Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay, Prabhu. The wives of the Brahmanas replied, O Almighty One, please do not speak such cruel words. Rather, you should fulfill your promise that you always reciprocate with your devotees in kind. Now that we have attained your lotus feet, we simply wish to remain here in the forest so we may carry upon our heads the garland of tulsi leaves that fall from your lotus feet. We are ready to give up all material relationships. Thank you, Prabhu.
And then slight change of argument. Okay, so first argument was to not let them go back or not ask them to go back, but this is another whole different reason, another reason, but in a different theme or in a different mood is coming up, and this is important. Okay, so let us see what this is. And this one is also in Vasanta Tilakam. Yes. Go on, go on, go on.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I was distracted.
Yes, that's good. That's exactly the intent. So you are, yeah, try to fit it. Go ahead, try.
I won't be able to do it, Prabhuji. It's hard. Half
It's
career.
okay. It's okay. You were doing first two lines nicely. You want to try? No? Okay. Okay, we will sing here. Grihnanti Wait. On the Zoom. Keep going. Ramakant Prabhu, you.
Gridhanti no pataya pitarau sutava na bhatri brandhu srihida kuta eva chane tasmat bhavat pradayo patitatmanam yo nanya bhaveda gatirarandam tat videhi.
Very good. Okay, good. So since you already sang, we will not do that. Okay. So now Grihnanti. Grihnanti means to accept. Okay. So like there is that verse, no, in third canto. Na grihnanti, or what is Diyamanam na grihnanti vina mat sevanam janaha. Right? There are these five types of liberation. 3.29.13. Grihnanti means even if I give Diyamanam na grihnanti, these my devotees don't accept these liberation vina mat sevanam janaha, without my seva. If that seva aspect is not there in the liberation, they don't accept. Anyway, so I'm just saying grihnanti means to accept. Okay. So grihnanti no na. So grihnanti no na means they will not accept. Who will not accept? Patayaha, the husbands. Pitarau, the father. Suta, the sons. Then bhatrir, brothers. Bandhu, friends. Suhrida, all the other well-wishers. Kuta eva cha anye, and then very nice meaning is given of this anya also. Who could be this anya and others? Everybody is included here. Father, all the three levels of relationship. Above, father, peer, husband. Below, son. peer also, husband is there, and then brothers are there. Then all the other friends, relatives, everybody has been covered. Bacha kaun? Who is left? Nobody. So who is the
Society.
Yeah, society is Suhrida, Bandhu. So here, I don't remember, I will have to look in my notes, but Anya means that since they are the wives of the Brahmanas, and Brahmanas are doing what? Yajna to go to Swarga. So let us, and as you know, according to Vedic understanding, whatever, if the wife is following the husband properly, then wife gets the same benefit as the husband. If the husband goes to heaven, the wives will also go to heaven. They are saying that in the heaven also we will be rejected. That is the meaning of Anya. What to speak of in this life, we will face rejection. In the next life also, even if we go to heaven, we will face rejection. Okay. So there also we will not be accepted. So that is one, I mean, there can be many meanings of Anya. I can tell you who gives this understanding, but our acharyas give this understanding. So tasmad bhavat prapadayo. So prapadayo means like prapadyante, like surrendered, or we have taken shelter of. Patitatmanamno, we have fallen down and taken your shelter. And na anya bhaved gatir. So please arrange something else. Tad videhi. Please arrange something else other than this. That going back. Because, but can you see the different theme is that the theme is not that we want to be here, but because there is nowhere else to go. Basically, they have closed all their doors, which is basically saying the same thing, but it's like saying the glass is half full or half empty. We want to be here. That was the first line, the first previous verse. This verse is we have nowhere else to go. Because all the people, everyone included, cha anye, you can, another meaning is everybody else, not someone else, but everyone else will not accept us. Na grihananti. So where else we will go? Tasmat, therefore. So tasmat is important. Therefore, don't ask us to leave because we have nowhere else to go. So what could be another meaning of this? Either don't ask us to go, or create another place which is not covered above where we can go. Okay, fine. We cannot go to all the known places. If you can create a new place where we will not be rejected, then we can go there. That can be the implied meaning of this verse, of this mood. Okay, you see that? So why this is important, I will share towards the end of the class. Okay. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings up another sweet point, that why the husbands will not accept them back. So one is because they rejected them, right? Outright, they humiliated their husbands, or humiliation or disregarded, or whatever may be the reason. Another point that he brings out is that the husbands considered them good riddance. Because all the time they were anyway thinking of Krishna, even when Krishna had not asked for food till that day. They were absorbed in Krishna. We had seen last time or previous to that time that instead of wearing the ornaments in the ears, what was the ornament of their ears? Krishna Katha was the ornament of their ears. So they were always wearing, just like women always wear ornaments in the ear, they were always full of Krishna Katha. So they were anyway not interested in their husbands much. So they thought good riddance. Chalo, अच्छा है. हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Good riddance. पीछा छूटा. Yes. हाँ? नहीं, पीछा छूटा. Pīchā chhuta. So that is another point he brings out. So good riddance. So they will not take us back. Anyway, they were trying to get rid of us. Luckily, it was their great luck that they got rid. So why will they take us back? So why this is important, this change of mood, maybe this may be the right time to discuss that exact same thing, 100% exact same thing happens in the case of, anybody knows where? Another time exact same thing happens, 100% ditto.
Gopis, Prabhuji.
Where? Where? Gopis where?
In the Kurukshetra when they came to meet him.
Kurukshetra, okay. But there we did not see such verses. When I'm saying 100% ditto, where? Who said Kurukshetra? Who said Gopis? I don't know. Okay. So let us see. So, very nice. So in the Rasa Lila, chapter 29 of the 10th canto. So maybe we can read that. Just the translations in interest of time. So here, this is the Ras Leela chapter. We won't go details of this because it's, very advanced chapter, but Krishna and gopis meet for the rasa dance. This is the Rasa Pancha Adhyayi. Pancha Adhyayi means 5 chapters, 29 to 33. So this is the first one. So what happens here is that one time Krishna is, again, I'm just summarizing and skipping some of the details, maybe some of the important details, but that are not going with the mood of today's discussion. So I'm picking the mood of, I'm trying to pick the aspects which is in line with today's discussion mood. Okay. So due to some reason, Krishna is playing the flute in the night. Of course, internally in his heart, he wants to meet the gopis, but he's playing the flute in such a sweet raga. Krishna knows all ragas. And that the gopis, when they hear the flute, they just come running. So 6, and maybe just I will read. Okay. So 6 and 7. So we will see here, you can see the similarity. Okay. So what happened? So the gopis were doing their various household activities, just like the Brahman patnis were at home doing various activities or things, external activities. Their minds were always absorbed in Sri Krishna. So that is true. But externally, they were doing these things. Some of them were getting dressed, feeding milk to their infants, rendering personal service to their husbands. But upon hearing this flute that has happened in the previous verses, in interest of time, we are not going into those. They all gave up these duties and went to meet Krishna. So Can you see the similarity? They just left like the Brahman patnis. Other gopis were taking their evening meals, washing themselves, putting on cosmetics or applying kajal to their eyes. But all the gopis stopped these activities at once. And though their clothes and ornaments were in complete disarray, they rushed off to see Krishna. Right? So basically the point is they didn't wait even one moment. Even one moment lost is too much. So they just ran. So this is the mood of the gopis. And then look at the next verse. It almost looks like a copy-paste from the Brahman Patnis. Their husbands, fathers, brothers, and other relatives tried to stop them. But Krishna had already stolen their hearts. Enchanted by the sound of his flute, they refused to turn back. Right? So this is the, now you can see the exact, almost near exact similarity of this. And then what does, we'll jump forward, we'll come back to this, but we'll jump forward, number 17. So then, let's see, so they come to Krishna and then, our wonderful Krishna, let's see what he does. So we will read few verses, 17 onwards. Seeing that the girls of Braj had arrived, Lord Krishna, the best of speakers, greeted them with charming words and that bewildered their minds. Same thing. First, he spoke nice words. Please come, have a seat. What can I do for you? Welcome. Are you doing good? Are you nice? Everything okay? All those nice things. Same, yeah. 18th also, Lord Krishna said, "Oh, most fortunate ladies, Mahabhaga." Exact same thing was used in the Brahman Patnis. You're most fortunate, Mahabhaga. What may I do to please you? Looks like he has a standard playbook. Very clever. Is everything well in Vraja? Please tell me the reason for your coming here. Now he changes the tune. The night is quite frightening, and frightening creatures are lurking about. Return to Vraja. O slender-waisted girls, this is not a proper place for women. Not finding you at home, your mothers, fathers, sons, brothers, husbands are certainly searching for you. Don't cause anxiety for your family members. Now that you have seen the Vrindavan forest, full of flowers and resplendent with the light of the full moon, you have seen the beauty of the trees with their leaves trembling in the gentle breeze coming from the Yamuna. So now go back to the cowherd village. Don't delay. O chaste ladies, serve your husbands and give milk to your crying babies and calves. So they are completely heartbroken. So they become very, very sad. 28th verse, let us just see. Shukdev Goswami said, hearing these unpleasant words, harsh words spoken by Govinda, the gopis became morose. Their great hopes were frustrated as they felt insurmountable anxiety. Isn't it? Isn't it almost 100% same? Yeah. So we will go back here. So almost 100%. So this is the aspect which I was talking about, 100% same. So then we will see a little bit difference in the mood. So now this is a very long section, but maybe we can read it from verse number 31 to 40 in that chapter 29. But they don't say even once that we have left our husbands, they will not take us, we have nowhere left to go. That is not the reason that they give. The reasons that they give are completely that they want to be with Krishna. So only the first part of the reason, that we want to be with you. Not like, had there been a place to go back, we would have gone back. So very nice verses are there. We can read it towards, there is another huge point that comes up. So we will read it, but that is the mood of the gopis. So this can be looked at in two angles. Okay. Now, no angle is right or wrong. These are just various ways of relishing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Arthanam Aswadam. So we are doing Artha Aswadan. We are not saying this Artha or this meaning is better than that meaning. That's not the point. So one of the thing is that we can see this theme, like I said, another reason, but in different theme or different mood, that we have nowhere left to go. And in the gopis case, it was not there. So two angles to this. One is this thing that, this is why the gopis, if you just compare the gopis and the Brahman patnis, the gopis are the topmost. Because they are not saying, we need a shelter. Okay, if not your shelter, give us some other shelter. We have given up all the shelters we knew of and taken your shelter. That itself is very, very great. But if you know any other shelter and if you cannot give us shelter, come up with something else. And that's exactly what Krishna will do in this case. He will say, go back to your husbands, and we will see what happens. But the other angle, which is very sweet, and in this case, there is no comparison between the gopis and the Brahman patnis. Neither it is being said they are at the same level. Sri Rupa Goswami says there is a whole hierarchy of devotees, and the gopis are the topmost, and within the gopis, the Srimati Radharani is the topmost. Karmibhyah parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur jnaninas. Upadesha Amrit number 10. So, towards the end, he says that Srimati Radharani is the topmost, and her Kunda, Radha Kunda, is none different than Radharani. Therefore, who will not take a bath in Radha Kunda? So that is 10th verse of Upadeshamrit. Anyway, so the gopis are the topmost. Among them, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. So there is a hierarchy. But in this other understanding, there is no hierarchy, the second one. And the understanding here is that both the Brahman Patnis and the gopis understood the mood of Krishna. So one needs to understand the mood of Bhagawan. Brahman Patnis understood that in this case, Krishna really wants us to go back. It's not about what he's saying with his mouth. It's about what he wants. And sometimes there could be a difference. And Krishna is like that kind of Bhagavan, where he thinks one thing and says another thing. So trying to please Krishna by doing what he internally wants, not what he's externally saying, is most important. But that's not for us. We cannot even imagine, we cannot even do what he's saying, let alone what he's thinking. We do not even have the capacity to know what he's thinking. Okay? But here we are talking about very, very, very advanced devotees like Brahman Patnis and the gopis. They can understand Krishna's desire. In this case, Krishna wanted them to go back, so they went back. Not because Krishna showed them a way out. He will say, I will, change the heart of the Brahmanas, of your husbands. They will accept you lovingly. They will accept you. So it's not like he created another avenue and that's why they went. No, they realized that this will please Krishna the most. Whereas in the gopis' case, even though he was externally saying, go back, they knew that what will please Krishna the most is that if they stay. And that's why they stayed. So you can read that chapter ahead. You will see that even though Krishna, we just read, Krishna says in 3 verses, go back, go back, go back. He's saying, forest is very dangerous, and your family members might be getting worried, and you are high class women, you should not just come out of your house in the night. All these reasons he was giving, saying go back. Did the gopis go back? No, they don't. And then the rasa dance happens. So that is the difference. So, but this instruction is not for us to guess what Krishna wants. We should simply do what Krishna says. And he has so many instructions for us in Bhagavad Gita we should follow. And we should follow Krishna's authorized representatives, which is Guru and Sadhu. They tell us what Krishna really wants, and that is what we should do. We should not apply all this. This is only to relish the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam and to have that prayojan, understanding of the prayojan. Prayojan means the end goal. It's always important to realize what is the end goal. That motivates us to go on the journey, right? Like a student, when he sees that, oh, if I study hard, I will go to the next grade, or I will get A grade in this subject. So there is that prayojan, that motivating, inspiring factor is there, because of which he studies hard during the semester or during the year. So similarly, we can have this prayojana that Bhagawan, one day we can, in some future lifetime, attain such a state. With that intention, we can do our bhakti by following Krishna's words. So these are the various meanings of this aspect. Okay, let me see. Anything missed? Okay. So these are the 2 verses that are spoken by the Brahman patnis. Okay. Could Makarand Prabhu kindly read the translation here? You are muted.
Our husbands, fathers, sons, brothers, other relatives, and friends will no longer take us back. And how could anyone else be willing to give us shelter? Therefore, since we have thrown ourselves at your lotus feet and have no other destination, please, O chastiser of enemies, grant our desire.
Okay, now Shri Bhagavan Vacha. So now we will see Lord's response. So let us see what he says. So the last point, so he responds to the last point first. So now you can understand there are 2 points being made by the Brahman Patnis. One is we want to be with you, right? And second is we have nowhere else to go. So he answers the second one first. That, okay, if that is your problem, one of your problems, that you have nowhere else to go, that I will solve it easily, just like this. So what he says, Shri, now this is back to Anushtup, because now we are back to the standard, more conversation that is less emotional, not much ups and downs happening. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Patayo Nabhya Suyeran Pitra Bhratri Sutadayaha Lokashchavo Mayopeta Devapya Anumanvate. So Bhagavan says that Patayo Nabhya Suyeran, that your husbands, Abhyasureyan means to reject. Na Abhyasureyan means to not reject. So your pati, your husbands, will not reject you. Not just your husbands, all the other people also. the same set of people. Adayaha includes everybody else. Pitra, Bhratra, Suta, fathers, brothers, sons, etc., etc. None of them, basically all of them will accept you fully. No one in the world will reject you. Lokascha, lokascha. So not loka, but loka means not just this loka, all the lokas. So remember, this is where the commentary was coming, that in the next life, if you go to Swargalok, there I will be rejected. So not, you won't be rejected here, you won't be rejected in any of the lokas. All the lokas, lokascha, will not reject you. So don't worry, you are cleared. कहते हैं ना उसे क्या, बाइज्जत भरी किया जाता है. Or what it is called in English, expunged completely, रिहा किया जाता है, whatever. So with full honor. So everybody will accept you. Why? He also gives the reason. Mayopeta. Mayopeta means because of my desire. What is Krishna's desire? In the heart of all the living entities, Krishna resides. And therefore, as Paramatma, he will change everybody's heart. And another point, this point we will go into a little bit just to understand. Deva apya anumanvate. Even the devatas will also approve of this. Now, do the Brahman patnis care about devatas? They know Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They have no confusion. Their husbands were having the confusion, right? But the Brahman patnis have no confusion. So why Krishna is saying even the devatas will approve or will acknowledge or recognize this fact? So he is saying this because the Brahmanas are the devotees of the devatas. Remember, they were doing the yajna to go to Swarga. And so that yajna was for the devatas. What they forgot is that ultimately the yajna, aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Bhagavad Gita 9.24, right? So that they forgot, the Brahmanas forgot that the Supreme Lord is the ultimate receiver of all the yajnas. They thought it is only the devatas. So let us pray to the devatas to let us get Swarga. So they are very dedicated to the devatas, but devatas are not confused. They know that I am the Supreme Lord. So the devatas will also tell them, first of all, their heart will change, but let's say if they doubt their heart. The mind is very tricky. At least the wives can think like that. Okay, in their heart, they may know, but sometimes the mind also tries to convince otherwise. Like we think, Arey, thoda, we can steal this, we can commit this crime. Our intelligence says no, but mind says, Arey, kuch nahi, nobody is looking, just whatever. So maybe like that, if it happens, if their mind plays tricks on them, because they have already rejected Krishna once. It's not like if reminded about Krishna, they will completely surrender. Just now, 2 hours back, they rejected Krishna. So what is the guarantee that they will not reject Paramatma, who is none different than Krishna? So that doubt is there. To clarify the doubt, they are saying the devatas will appear and they will say that Krishna is my Supreme Lord. The same devatas in whom the Brahmanas have faith. They may not have faith in Krishna, but they have faith in Brahmanas, devatas. So therefore he is saying even the devatas will come and tell them. Then definitely they will agree, right? So all these points, nice points, are being made by Krishna. So he's saying, don't worry, problem solved. Yeah. Let me see. Hmm. Yeah. So actually, this was another point that, yeah, very nice. Anyway, we'll skip this because it's kind of in the previous verse. This was linked to the previous verse. It's okay. 6:12. Okay. So Krishna solves this problem. Yeah. Okay, let us read the translation. Ramakant Prabhu, can you please read this translation?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, "Rest assured that your husbands will not be inimical towards you, nor will your fathers, brothers, sons, other relatives, or the general populace. I will personally advise them of the situation. Indeed, even the demigods will express their approval."
Right?
Thank you.
Thank you. So that's what is going on. Now come very, very important two verses, 32 and 33. So please pay attention. These are very important. 32 as well as 33. Very, very important verses. So this is now, how many problems were there that the Brahman Patnis brought up? Two problems. One problem has been solved, that we have nowhere else to go. So the problem has been solved because Krishna is saying they will lovingly accept you. Not just they will accept you, they will lovingly accept you. Now, but one more problem is there, that they want to be with Krishna. What about that? So then, to answer that, Krishna says these two verses. Again, Anushtup. Na pritaye nuragaya ya anga sango nrinamiha tanmano mayi yunjana achiran mam avapsyatha. So, Lord Krishna says that na pritaye anuragaya. So, there are two aspects brought out here, priti and anurag. So priti means obviously love for Bhagawan, and anurag means strong, just not attachment, but very, very strong attachment to Krishna. So this developing this intense love or attachment to me, Krishna is saying, is not possible by anga sanga. Okay, anga sanga means, anga sanga is referring to physical proximity, anga sanga, which means like our body is together. Anga sanga, which means physical proximity. So anga sanga is referring to physical proximity. So that is what the Brahman Patnis were asking for. We want to be with you. Don't send us away. Okay, physical proximity does not mean like in a sensual way. Okay, this just means like a servant. But like if imagine if Lord Ram says to Hanumanji, go away. Hanumanji will be heartbroken. He always is sitting right next to Lord Ram. Even after the Ramayana, the war is over, Hanumanji comes with Lord Ram, is always sitting right next to his side. So he never wants to be away from Lord Ram, even though he is a das of Lord Ram. So in the same way, So he's getting the anga sanga in that sense. So he's saying for us, for Nrinam, now this is a teaching. Now the Brahman patnis are also in this lila. They are nara, they are people. But so he's saying that strong love, that a strong attachment is not really developed by just being near me. That is certainly, it's not like, it's not one of the ways, but it's not the best way. What is even better? Tan mano mayi yunjana. That your mana, yunjana means to fix or to engage. Yukta and yunja, they have the same meaning. The dhatu is the same, is to apply or absorb. So to absorb your mana, your mind, in mayi, towards me or in me. So by absorbing your minds in me, achiran means very quickly. Mam avapsyatha, you will come to me. And this applying or absorbing your mind in me can be done even from without physical proximity, which you were already doing. All this while you were already doing that. So Krishna says, just go back and do the same thing. You don't have to be near me physically. And then you will attain me. But one can ask, okay, if the end goal is to be near, which is the meaning of avapsyatha, attain, then why not attain right now? Why you are adding one more like delay? I have attained you, then you are saying go back, think of me so that you can attain me. Arey, I already attained, Baba. Right? So the understanding here is this attainment is in the spiritual world. That is why it is said, Nrinam iha. Iha means in this place, in this material world. So Krishna has come to material world to have his pastimes, and the Brahman patnis are there. But to attain me in the spiritual world, the best thing to do in the material world is to absorb your mind in Krishna. And that's very nice instruction for us. So the Brahman Patni's instructions we can take for our lives, not the gopis' instructions. We are not that advanced. Even though the gopis also were always thinking of Krishna, so that aspect we must try to learn from that. But in this case, it directly applies to us as well. So some of the meanings given by our acharyas are as follows. So Sridhar Swami says that anga sanga is not actually very meaningful. Anga sanga means physical proximity. So many people in this material world are physically proximate, or still they are suffering. Even though they are living under the same roof, there is no priti or anurag. There is all kind of resentments and all kinds of things. So love, even in the material world, many people will realize is not, anga sanga is not attained, is not the means for priti or anurag. So the real anga sanga, what is the real anga sanga? Is anga sanga. Anga, what is the anga? We say in Bhagavad Gita, right? The manah shashthani indriyani. Anga means indriyas, our limbs. But what is the topmost limb? Or the topmost anga or the indriya? Yeah, manah.
Mana.
So anga sanga is the sort of the togetherness. So we can say a sanga or togetherness of the mind. That is the real anga sanga. When the mind is attached, so Krishna says that you will be absorbed in thoughts of me, and trust me, I will be absorbed in thoughts of you. And that anga sanga will be guaranteed. So don't worry. That anga sanga is guaranteed. Anga means mind. So the anga of mind will be sanga. Now there are some more points which are a little bit deeper, which I will share. So another type or another reason Sri Jiva Goswami gives here is that if we consider the anga sanga to be physical proximity, right? So gopis, again contrasting with gopis, Krishna doesn't say to the gopis that you must go. He tries to say, but when they stay, then there is rasa dance happening. There is a lot of togetherness with physical proximity that happens. So why he doesn't really tell them to go away? He is doing anga sanga in the literal sense. So one can argue that in that case, Lord Krishna agreed for anga sanga, and in this case, he is giving this alternate meaning. So why so? So another, that is the one of the reasons, and this is purely from Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhant point. Okay, so one must be little bit have that understanding of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. And we have studied this deeply in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is our fundamental book of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, the law book. And from that angle, Lord Krishna says that this kind of anga sanga, this falls in the category of the of ragatmika bhakti. And ragatmika bhakti is reserved for who? According to Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhant, who is it reserved for?
Brajvasis.
Brajvasis, yes. So, Brajvasi Janadishu, or Janadayaha. So that's how Sri Rupa Goswami defines ragatmika bhaktas. And Brahman patnis are not counted as Brajvasis because they are outside of Braj. Now, again, Braj Mandal, we say it includes Mathura in that sense, but in this case, Braj means the Vrindavan. And these Brahman patnis are outside, they are more closer towards Mathura side. So basically, the point is they do not come under that definition of Ragatmika Bhakta of Vrajvasis. And so therefore, Jiva Goswami says that Lord Krishna is indicating that after this life, next life, you will become a gopi. If somebody asks the question, right, gopis are getting the anga sanga, why not Brahman patnis? Why, what is the problem? Some of the gopis also had husbands. We just read they had husbands, children, right? Even then they went and met Krishna. So what is the problem if Brahman patnis? What is the difference in the category? Why discriminate? So this is the discrimination. Vrajvasi versus non-Vrajvasi. And this is very, very, very specific to Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta. Those who are not Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta followers will have little difficulty in digesting this fact. Arey, what is so special? Vrajvasi, why not others? But this is Siddhanta Bhed or Sampradaya Bhed. There is no problem. In every Sampradaya, there are specifics. There is absolutely no problem. We accept other Sampradaya's validity. They have their own things that only they will also have their only this. They will also have their domains. And following any valid bona fide sampradaya can lead us to the spiritual world. Okay, we must to go to the destination. There can be, many trains. We were in India and, wanted to go from point A to point B. There are so many trains that go. But you have to take one train and go. You cannot say that one leg in one train, another leg in another train is not possible. You have to buy the ticket of one train, which means at that point you are committing to one path. It will also lead you to the destination. Now, it doesn't mean all the trains go to the same destination. We're not that's a whole different argument. So don't think I'm saying that. Okay, there are more points that are made by Sri Jiva Goswami, more detailed, but I will skip those. That there are two types of jivas, tatastha and nitya lila parikara. Within nitya lila parikara, there are param aishwarya jivas who are completely focused on the aishwarya of Bhagawan, and there are other nitya lila parikaras who are not fixated on the aishwarya of Bhagawan. They know the aishwarya of Bhagawan, but they don't, that is not the predominant factor. We will discuss that if time permits. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings out some very nice points. That separation, physical separation from me, will cause a ever increasing utkantha. So he says ever increasing utkantha. Utkantha means that strong hankering, that longing to see the Lord or to be with the Lord. So that is the meaning of achiran mam avapsyatha, that very quickly that utkantha will keep rising and rising and rising and rising, and it will come to a point where you will give up your bodies, and then you will take this gopi body in a different universe where Krishna's leelas are going on. Krishna leela is going on in every universe. So you will give up your body and you will go to another universe where Krishna leela is going on. You will take birth as a gopi, that is known as Bhaum Vrindavan, and then you will be with me. So that is the meaning. So this utkantha will happen, that deep absorption will happen, and it will simply increase your hankering to be with me. Now I was reading Bhaktamal by Sri Nabha ji, very, very famous book. And there he has also mentioned Brahmana patnis as one of the Bhakta category or the devotees. And there he says that these Brahman patnis, actually when Krishna sends them back, he sends only a shadow copy. He creates a shadow copy of the Brahman patnis and sends them back to their husbands. And in their spiritual body, he sends them to Goloka Vrindavan. That is, I'm summarizing, but that is the point that is being made. Another meaning. So you can take whichever meaning you like. The real meaning you will only figure out when you reach the spiritual world. Till then, just relish the meanings. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Arthanam Asvado. Okay. So these are all the meanings of this verse given by various acharyas. So the nice thing is by fixing the mind on me, you can attain me. Okay, can somebody on the Zoom please read the translation quickly?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay.
For you to remain in my bodily association would certainly not please people in this world, nor would it be the best way for you to increase your love for me. Rather, you should fix your minds on me, and very soon you will achieve me. Thank you.
Okay, last verse for today. Another very important verse, 33. So how to remain absorbed? So here Lord Krishna says, absorb your mind in me. Tan mano mayi yunjana. Right? So invest or absorb or engage your mind completely in me. How? So this is a little bit more of the, here what was given is the what, and here little bit of the how is given. So how? And you can make out these words. They are in all over the place in the Bhagavatam. Shravanad darshanad dhyanad mai bhavo anukirtanad na tatha sannikarshena pratiyata tato grihan. That how? Shravanad. Same thing. See, the medicine is not different. The answer is the same. Don't expect different answer from different chapters. And that's nice, because otherwise you'll get confused. Chapter 23 said this, chapter 27 said this, Canto 5 said this, Canto 10 says this. No, they're all saying the same thing. Darshanad, taking darshan of Bhagawan, of Bhagawan's deity. Dhyana, by remembering Bhagawan. And Anukirtanat, continuous kirtan of Bhagawan. So, all these are being described. Mai bhavo, that way you will attain my bhava by doing these things. Not by na tatha sannikarshena. Sannikarshena means physical proximity. So he is saying you cannot attain that deep bhava for me by physical proximity. Actually, you should go away. That's the last line. Pratiyata tato grihan. Tato means tataha. Tataha means therefore. Pratiyata, go. Grihan means to your homes. Therefore, yes, be separated. So here he is actually saying that if you be together with me, it will not be as conducive. It will be counterproductive. What will be the best is to do these four things: Shravana, Darshan, Dhyana, and Anukirtana. These four things you do. And like I said before, when I was giving the summary of the chapter, this is such a good news for us. We cannot be physically proximate with Bhagavan. We are not as advanced as the Brahman patnis or as the Vrajvasis or even our Goswamis. We cannot be physically proximate with the Lord. We cannot, the Lord Krishna, not even with Lord Chaitanya, we were not fortunate. But we can do these four things: Shravana, Darshana, Dhyana, and Kirtan. So this is such a good news for us. We can also do this. So by doing this, like it was said in the previous verse, Achiran Mai or Mam Avapsyata. Very quickly you will attain me. Okay. So the commentary of 32 and 33 by various acharyas was combined. So whatever points the acharyas' commentaries were there, I have already shared. Okay. So this is the main point of 32 and 33. So how to be close to Bhagawan and how to attain him and how to reach his planet at the end of this life, by doing these things, by investing our mind in Bhagawan, by doing Shravan, Kirtan, Dhyan, Darshan of Bhagawan. Now this darshan means not darshan, one can ask, oh, then I need physical proximity. This darshan means deity darshan. Very clearly our acharyas are saying this is deity darshan, not darshan of physical Bhagavan. Deity darshan. Okay, somebody on Zoom, kindly read the translation who has not read so far. Please.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
It is by hearing about me, seeing my deity form, meditating upon me and chanting my names and glories that love for me develops, not by physical proximity. Therefore, please go back to your homes.
Very nice. Thank you. Okay, we have time for one more verse. I think this is just the concluding part of this section. So we'll just quickly read this. So Sri Shuka Uvacha, Sri Shukadev Goswami continues the pastime. Itya ukta dvijapatnyasta yagyavatam punargata te chan suyavastabhihi stribhihi satram aparayan. So Sri Shukadev Goswami says that on being told this itya ukta, ukta means on being told, ukta means to say, ukta means that somebody else is saying to you. So itya ukta, having been told, what did they do? The Dvija Patni means the Brahman Patnis, Yagyavatam, Yagyavat means the place where the Yagya was happening, Punargatah. They went, Punargatah, they went back to their homes. And there the Yagyavat, whoever were there at the Yagyavat, who is that? The Brahmanas. Cha Anusuyavaha Tabhihi, that they were not inimical or they were not angry or, with them, with the Strībhihi. And like this, Aparayan, the Satram, they completed the Yagya. Okay. So they completed the Yagya. Along with their Strībhihi, along with their wives. So with their wives, they completed the Yagya. So one must realize here that the Yagya was being done by the Brahmanas. Now the change of heart happened, like Krishna said. Now it's not shown in the verse, but change of heart happened. So one of the questions can arise that if they finally realized that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and probably they also realized that what is this whole Swarga thing? It's so useless. Why they didn't stop the Yagya? Why did they continue and complete it? So that would be the question. Of course, they were able to complete it in a proper way with their wives. But the fact that they still continued with the Yagya. Now, is there any example? One can say, okay, it's not good to not leave it or abandon a Yagya. Is there any example where somebody abandoned a Yagya? Anybody?
That Parikshit Maharaj, that Saunakaris is that Yagya.
Shaunak Rishis, not Parikshit Maharaj. Very nice. Shaunak Rishis. In the very first chapter of first canto, they were going to do this 1,000-year yagya. And the moment they saw Suta Goswami, they said, "Arey, chodo, what is this yagya thing? Let's cancel all the yagya programs and instead hear Bhagavatam." Isn't it? That's a very, very strong example. Anywhere else? Many examples are there. So in the Govardhan pastime, they were planning to do yagya for Indra. And upon Krishna convinced them to abandon that. Now they had not started yet, one can say that, but still they had the intention. Yagya begins with the intention. So also with Prithu Maharaj, he had taken a vow to complete 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas, equivalent of. Then Lord Vishnu appeared and asked him to stop. So of course, this one Lord Vishnu directly appeared. So Prithu Maharaj is a pure devotee. And when Lord Vishnu himself is coming, he just agreed. But in the case of Nanda Maharaj, he didn't acknowledge that, or the fact that Krishna is Bhagawan was not present at that point in his mind. He just wanted to do what Krishna is saying to please Krishna, not because Bhagawan is saying. There's the difference between Prithu Maharaj and Nanda Maharaj. And definitely in the case of Shaunakadi Rishis, they gave up the yagya. Yeah. Okay. So they gave up the yagya because but in this case, the Brahmanas continued the yagya. So this point will be highlighted towards the end of the chapter. What is the position of the Brahmanas? Now we analyzed in great detail the position or the mindset of the Brahmanas before this point, that they are materialists. They were just doing all this yagya. They rejected Krishna. All those things we discussed. But position of the Brahmanas after their wives returned. And we will see in the next couple of sessions how much the Brahmanas are repentant that they neglected Krishna. So they have become Krishna conscious by this point. Why did they still continue with the yagya? So the position, or we can say the mentality or the attitude, where are they left really, even after their wives returned and they came to their senses? So they did not fully 100%, we can say, I don't know there's a percentage given anywhere, but 99% they came to their senses, not 100%. That is the understanding. Okay. All right. Yeah, it is 6:45. So we can end here. Any comments, questions?
Only one question is that the Lord instructs the Brahmin wives to go back and do the 4 things. But what question comes to my mind is that even before they were doing at least some of these.
Oh, they were doing all.
And all of these, yeah. So he probably said they continue to do whatever you are doing.
Yes, yes. Yes, it is to make it more specific, that to emphasize that what you were doing is exactly right and you should continue to do that. and also for us. If you see there was this word Nrinam iha. So this has a couple of meanings. So one is for us, that people of this world should not aspire or will not be eligible for this anga sanga, and therefore one should, while in this world, and I skipped some part of the commentaries, okay, in that, like I was explaining, there are the two types of jivas. One are the tatastha jivas and one are the nitya parikara jivas. So for us, tatastha jivas, the instruction is that always, and this goes to our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu discussion, in our sadhak deha, we should continue to do all these activities of bhakti, the limbs of bhakti, Shravana Kirtan, the 5 limbs, 5 important limbs, or any other limbs, but mainly 5, one of the or more of the 5, anga, eka anga, aneka anga, etc. Shravana, Darshana, Dhyana, Kirtana, Sadhu Sangha, Mathuravas, all those things. So, and in our Siddha Deha, once one has reached that level of Raganuga, in the mind one can contemplate serving the Nitya Parikaras, Nitya Lila Parikaras, trying to serve them mentally, the Manasi Seva. But externally, one should do this. So one of the meanings that is given here in the commentary is that this is talking about the Manasi or the Siddha Deha Seva, and this is talking about the Sadhak Deha Seva. So anyway, it is for instruction to us. Okay. Anything else?
One more point comes to my mind, if I can say, is that when when the Lord says that even the demigods will kind of support you in this, I thought probably that was because some of the sacrifices are done together by husband and wives. So if the wives were not accepted by the Brahmins, then probably those sacrifices will not be accepted even by the demigods.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that could be one way of, that's not mentioned in the commentaries.
Yeah, it was just.
Yeah. But at this point, both from Krishna's standpoint and from the standpoint of the Devatas, the procedures are less important. When the bhava is that one is doing it completely for Krishna, then the procedures, even if there is a fault, if there is a mistake, it is no problem. No problem. There is very strong praman for this. In the 8th canto, there is a very important verse. I think it is Mantrasya Tantrascha. 16. Yeah, Mantrasya Tantras Chidram. Desha Kalarha Vastutaha. Sarvam Karoti Nishchidram. Anu Sankirtanam Tava. That there may be, you can read the translation, Prabhuji.
Yeah. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulative principles. And moreover, There may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless.
You see? Tava anukirtanam. Anu sankirtanam tava. So, sarvam karoti nishchidram. Chidram means some fault. So, mantras, tantratas, chidram, desha, kala, vastuta. All these things, there can be chidras, there can be faults. But sab kuch, sarvam karoti nishchidram. All those faults are deleted. Who deletes the faults? Anu Sankirtanam. The Sankirtan deletes the faults. Whose Sankirtana? Tava. Your Sankirtan.
Your Sankirtan.
So this verse is being spoken by Shukracharya ji to Vamandev. After he comes to his senses. First he was telling Bali Maharaj not to pay attention to Vamandev. So this is the ending of the episode, and once Lord Vamandev's position has been revealed as the Supreme Lord, then even Shukracharya comes to his senses, and then he begins to speak the truth. First he was trying to speak the lies. He knows the truth, but he was trying to speak lies to preserve the material property. We all do that. So, but now he is speaking the truth, and this is the truth. Mantratas tantratas chidram. Okay. Anything else? Was I sharing the screen? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Granthraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for joining. We will see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhuji. Thank you.